Get out! Get out and don't ever come back! We never want to see you again.
Alma never expected peace to feel so quiet. No voices raised behind closed doors, no toddler screaming through the night, no daughter standing in the middle of the kitchen saying with that same deadpan tone, "Mama, you gotta go. I need the space." Alma could still feel the pot handle in her hand. She'd been boiling collard greens. The steam rose behind her like a ghost. There wasn't a fight, no storm out or slammed door, just a sentence dropped like a stone in a still pond. "My boyfriend's moving in. We need the room, and it's too much with you here." 10 days later, Alma sat in the church basement in Hattiesburg, eating dry ramen straight from the pack. An older woman beside her whispered, not unkindly, "There's a place down in Pascagoula. Not a shelter, not quite, run by this woman named Evelyn. She helps women our age who got left behind, but she don't advertise. You just gotta find her." Alma pawned her last gold bracelet, the one her husband gave her on their 10th anniversary, to buy a bus ticket. 3 transfers, a long walk down a dusty road, and a nearly turned ankle later, she found herself standing in front of a white house with peeling trim and a sagging porch wrapped in wisteria. Something about it made her pause. It didn't look like much, but it felt like safety. Evelyn answered the door. She didn't ask too many questions, didn't eye Alma up and down, didn't make her explain what happened. She just said, "What's your name?" "Alma." "Alma, are you hungry?" That first night, Alma didn't cry. She just stared at the plate Evelyn gave her. Catfish, greens, cornbread, and felt something loosen in her chest. Not forgiveness, not yet, but possibility. She ate slowly, like someone who hadn't tasted dignity in a long time. Lynn's place. Evelyn didn't call it a shelter. It wasn't a halfway house, it wasn't a facility, it wasn't government-run. It was hers. 3 small homes on a sleepy street in Pascagoula, paid for in full with the settlement she'd won after Leonard's death. She didn't tell many people what she'd done with the money, but the sign by the mailbox said enough. Lynn's place. For the women, they forgot. Alma was the first resident. Her room had a window that caught the morning sun and a quilt with hand-stitched violets along the edges. There was a basket of toiletries on the dresser, a bottle of lotion, a comb, a new toothbrush. Nothing fancy, but all of it said, "You matter." Evelyn said gently, "I don't need to know what happened. I just need you to know it's not happening here." I almost sat on the edge of the bed that night and whispered to the quiet room, "Thank you," before she even believed she deserved it. 3 months later, Alma was different. Not loud, not flashy, but she walked differently. Lighter, like her burdens finally had a place to rest other than her shoulders. She started baking again, just small things. Banana bread, sweet potato pie. She cooked not because she had to feed ungrateful mouths, but because it made the kitchen smell like memory. Evelyn taught her how to use a smartphone. Said, "The world's gotten bigger, and no one should be left behind just because they don't know how to scroll." Alma laughed. "What I need a phone for?" Evelyn smiled. "You'll see." One quiet morning, a text came. Not a call, not even an apology. Just a message from her grandson, the boy she'd raised, bathed, sung to. "Hi, Granny B. I miss you. Mama says you're mad. I don't get why you're gone. It's weird without you." Alma read it 3 times. Then she put the phone down and walked outside, where the sky was wide and blue, and didn't ask anything of her. She didn't cry. She didn't reply. She just stood barefoot in the grass and said quietly to herself, "They miss you when you leave, not when they lose you." That Sunday, Evelyn came out on the porch with gardening gloves and a pack of seeds. She said, "I'm thinking of starting something out back. A garden. Nothing big, just something beautiful that keeps coming back no matter what tries to stop it." Alma raised an eyebrow. "Like us?" Evelyn grinned. "Exactly." They planted the first hydrangea that afternoon. 1 month later, a letter arrived, handwritten, no return address. Alma opened it slowly, like it might disappear if she moved too fast. It was from her daughter. "I know what I said. I know how I made you feel. I don't expect you to come back, Mama. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. I've been carrying this shame in my chest like a rock. I don't know how to fix it, but I miss you. I miss your greens, your laugh, the way you said my name when I cried as a little girl. I miss having a mother." Alma read it twice, then folded it gently and placed it in the back of her Bible. Not because she planned to forget, but because some things are worth remembering, even if you don't let them back in. That night, Alma sat on the back porch with Evelyn and a woman named Darlene, who had just arrived 2 weeks before. They drank sweet tea and watched the light fade across the hydrangeas. No one spoke, but all three women smiled. Because sometimes you don't need fireworks to mark healing. Sometimes it's enough to just sit beside someone who knows what it means to be broken and still choose to bloom anyway. Darlene wasn't running from anything. She'd already done that. For years. From cops, from rent, from her own reflection in motel mirrors. At this point, she was just tired of being the kind of woman people expected to vanish. The morning she showed up at Len's place, she didn't even knock. She just stood there, sunburned and blinking, with a backpack that smelled like stale cigarettes and regret. Alma opened the door. Darlene took one look at her, steady, silver-haired, arms crossed, and said, "I'm not who you think I am." Alma didn't blink. "I'm not here to think anything. You hungry?" Darlene cried at the first bite of Evelyn's cornbread. Not loud, just one tear that slipped down without warning. She hadn't tasted food that wasn't from a gas station in nearly a year. Hadn't eaten anything cooked by someone who didn't want something in return. She didn't offer her full story, not at first, but Evelyn didn't push. She'd learned, stories come when they're ready. 2 weeks later, Darlene stood barefoot in the kitchen, staring at her own hands. She'd stolen with these hands. Punched a wall in a women's shelter in Biloxi, held a gun once, not to use it, just to feel like she could if she had to. And now those same hands were washing dishes beside Alma, who sang softly while drying silverware. "I shouldn't be here," Darlene muttered. "Where should you be then?" She shook her head. "Somewhere I can't hurt nobody." Alma handed her a towel. "Then this is exactly where you should be." The trouble with redemption. Some women cry it out. Others go quiet. Darlene, she fought it. One night, Evelyn found her on the back porch, pacing like a caged animal. "They'll come looking. I took something, left a mess behind. I don't deserve this." Evelyn sat down on the porch swing. "Deserve is a word that don't mean much here." "But I'm not like Alma. She's good. She's clean." "She's healing, just like you. And healing don't care how far down you were, only whether you're trying to get up." That silenced Darlene. For once, she didn't try to outrun the quiet. The letter. A few mornings later, a small white envelope arrived with no stamp, just handwriting, You don't know me, but my name is Vanessa. I'm the woman whose purse you took outside the laundromat last fall. Darlene froze. Alma nearby raised an eyebrow. You okay? Darlene read the letter again. It continued. You didn't take anything valuable, just a picture. My daughter. She died 2 years ago. That photo was the only one I had left. I've forgiven you. I hope, wherever you are, someone's helping you become who you were meant to be. I'm okay now. I hope you are too. Darlene folded the letter carefully, then stood. I need to plant something. Evelyn handed her a small tray of daffodil bulbs. The garden grows. Len's garden had no order, no symmetry, but every bloom meant something. Hydrangeas for Alma, daffodils for Darlene, and a bare patch of dirt, waiting for the next woman who would come with nothing but history and leave with something she never expected: belonging. That night, the 3 women sat on the porch, feet bare, tea in hand. Darlene looked at them and said softly, almost to herself, I always thought grace was something you had to earn. But maybe it's just something you have to stop running from. Evelyn smiled. You didn't earn this place, Darlene. You grew into it. The letter came first. Postmarked from Atlanta. Neat, polite handwriting. No return address. Dear Miss Evelyn, I'm sorry to contact you like this. My name is Mariah. I think you knew my father. Evelyn sat in her quiet kitchen, the letter trembling just slightly in her hands. She didn't have to read further. She knew the name. She'd whispered it to her pillow for years, sometimes with bitterness, sometimes with something gentler. Ryan. She read on. My father passed away last winter. Cancer. He left behind some things, including letters, yours among them. He never sent them, just kept them in a box. I read them all. I hope that's okay. I don't know what I expected to feel, but I think I'd like to meet you. No pressure, just a visit. I want to understand him, and maybe understand myself a little too. I've enclosed a phone number. If you don't want to reach out, I'll understand. It was signed, simply, Mariah Ryan Taylor. The middle name was yours, wasn't it? 1 week later, Evelyn stood on the front porch of Len's place, wiping her hands on a dish towel. She hadn't told Alma or Darlene. Not yet. Not until she was sure it was real. A white sedan pulled into the gravel driveway. Cautious, like the driver wasn't sure she belonged here. Out stepped a young woman. Mid-20s, maybe. Denim jacket, big curls, shoulders pulled in tight like armor, and the same eyes. Ryan's eyes. They just stood there a moment. No one moved. Then Mariah said, You're taller than I imagined. And Evelyn, with a smile that trembled at the edges, replied, You look just like your father when he was trying not to be afraid. Inside over tea. They didn't talk about Ryan first. They talked about books, about music, about the garden, about how Mariah went to community college, dropped out, worked retail, then finally got her degree in early childhood development, about how she still didn't know what to do with her life. Evelyn said, Most of the best women I've met didn't have a plan, just to come to us. Finally, over cooling tea, Mariah asked, Did you love him? Evelyn looked out the window. I did, and I grieved him long before he died. She didn't speak in anger, just fact. He laughed. I begged him to stay. I told him I'd raise the baby with or without him. He never wrote back, but I never stopped wondering who you were. Mariah didn't speak right away. Then, he talked about you sometimes, not directly, but I could tell. I think he never forgave himself. Evelyn nodded. I stopped needing him to. Later that evening, Alma and Darlene joined them on the porch. Evelyn introduced her simply, "This is Mariah." She didn't say, "My daughter," didn't say, "Ryan's girl," didn't need to. Alma smiled warmly. "You stayin' for supper?" Darlene added, "Hope you like sweet potato pie." They all laughed, easy and light. As the sun dipped low, Mariah helped water the garden. She paused by a hydrangea, then a daffodil, then the empty patch waiting for its flower. "Can I plant something?" she asked. Evelyn placed a hand gently on her back. "That's why you're here." Final scene. That night, Evelyn sat alone on the porch, a photo in her lap. One she hadn't looked at in years. Ryan, 19, barefoot, grinning like he had the whole world in his pocket. She touched the edge of the frame. "You know, she's better than both of us." The wind stirred, soft through the trees. Behind her, Mariah's laughter floated out from the kitchen, mixing with Alma's warm voice and Darlene's usual sass. Evelyn smiled. Not everything lost needs to be found. But sometimes, just sometimes, it finds you anyway. Mariah stayed. Not for long at first, just a few days. She folded towels, watered flowers, and helped Darlene repaint the porch railings. Each night, she slept in the smallest bedroom, the one with the quilt Evelyn had stitched by hand, stitched for a baby that never came. No one said it out loud, but they all felt it. The house was changing. Not because it needed to, but because it could. The box in the attic. On her 5th day at Len's place, Mariah asked Evelyn if she could see the attic. "I was looking for old picture frames," she said. Evelyn hesitated. "It's messy." "I don't mind mess," Mariah smiled. "I was raised in it." They climbed the creaking stairs together. Dust motes danced like spirits in the slanted light. Mariah found a cardboard box labeled "Do Not Open." She looked over. Evelyn gave a small nod. Inside were letters, dozens. Some written by Evelyn, others never sent, and one dated 2002 from a shelter director in Montgomery. "Thank you for your donation and for your work with our girls. You said once you were saving a room in case someone came back. I hope she does. But if not, maybe someone else will need that room. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the reason they don't give up." Mariah looked at Evelyn. "This place was never just for you, was it?" "No, it was for whoever needed it, even if they didn't know it yet." A choice. That night, Mariah stayed up late with Alma and Darlene sorting donations from the local church. Old coats, soap, journals. Darlene held up a pink diary and smirked. "Bet some girl's gonna write fire poetry in this." Alma raised an eyebrow. "You mocking poetry now?" Darlene shrugged. "Just jealous no one gave me one when I was 16 and mad at the world." Mariah laughed, and something opened in her, a space she didn't know she was protecting. What if we turned the front room into a community space? Hold weekly dinners. Invite women still out there, the ones not ready to come in yet. Silence. Then Evelyn said, "I think it's time." The house opens its doors. The first dinner was awkward. 2 women came, 1 left after 5 minutes. But the second, her name was Rochelle, stayed. She barely ate, didn't talk, but her eyes watched everything. She left with a paper plate and Evelyn's number. A week later, she came back. By the third dinner, they ran out of chairs. Full circle. Late one evening, Mariah stood on the porch alone, holding a mug of mint tea. Evelyn joined her. "You thinking of leaving?" Evelyn asked gently. Mariah shook her head. "No, I'm thinking of staying. Just trying to figure out if I'm enough." "You are." Mariah turned to her. "You don't even know what I've done." "I don't have to." Mariah's voice dropped. "My dad, he used to say broken things can't be fixed, just thrown away." Evelyn looked out at the stars. "Well, he was wrong. Some things don't need fixing, just tending." Inside, Darlene was helping a girl practice for her GED. Alma was boiling pasta, laughing with someone new. Mariah walked in, picked up a hammer, and nailed a wooden sign over the entry. Hand-carved, uneven, honest. Lent's place. Come in, come whole or come hurting. Just come hungry. She stepped back, looked at Evelyn. Evelyn wiped her hands on her apron, eyes misting. "Your middle name's not the only thing you got from me."